What it do, what it does, and what are we doing, world? Well, I'm just piggybacking off a video I made recently about why I had kind of mentioned a little something about sports. Well, about the NBA and some players. But what I want to say now is people talk about how the games are rigged and this and that and the third. And with the like when it comes to the NBA and you got this betting stuff and even the NFL, yeah, I'm sure it is, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a bunch of billionaires that millionaires or whatever you want to call it who own these teams and stuff. I mean, oh, some about all of that stuff just made me think of the mafia, and these people are just descendants of the mafia and the mobs who started this stuff back in those days. I'm talking to the point where like they go and get other mobs from other places, like let's put our money together and create these leagues, these teams or whatever. I mean, not to the extent that it is today, but how all this stuff started back then with the NBA and how there were already basketball leagues, but somebody just came up with something better, so to speak, had more backing. But being rigged. So before there used to not be a three, there used to not be a three in the key call. Like when the defender is in the paint for 3 seconds. Before that, dude could just stand in the paint and block everything. You ain't coming in here. And so that would be rigging the game. You make it where, this person has to come out the paint and they may have to come out the paint. Just so happen when, somebody is driving to the paint. That creates points. It creates space in the lane because dudes don't want to keep getting them calls. And to keep getting them calls is like getting texts, and getting texts get you kicked out of the game. But I will call all of that rigging. But we don't think about that. We think about the game being fixed, somebody throwing the game, when they could just make rules to make the game a certain way. Like to make it where, they call so many fouls in the NBA. The way to reduce the fouls in the current format of the NBA is to not play defense and to not, do be so tough. And I see some people playing tough defense, they don't call nothing. But as soon as somebody else do it, it's like they getting a whistle and they'll back up and give space. It's really something else. But yeah, 'cause that's what we want to see, highlights, and we want to see the best. I mean, a lot of people be sold on the dunks and the long shots and stuff like that. So the NBA got to create that so they can keep getting them billions, and that's what I would call rigging, or make it where like players become free agents. They can go what they want, but they make it where at least in the NBA and NFL, you can only get so many of these players. Like all the good players might want to come to your team, but either they got to take a pay cut or they ain't coming to your team. It ain't like that in baseball. If I ain't mistaken, it's not like that in hockey. I could be wrong on that, but I know it ain't like that in baseball. What's up with that? Baseball makes more money, I guess. These folk been around long enough to have a lot of money, but yeah, you can even get multiple stars on your team who would like to play for your team. Like a bunch of stars might want to come play for Miami. They might want to team up in a small market like they try to do in Brooklyn, but with those three players and with the Brooklyn Nets, it's hard to get other. You're gonna get good, solid players, solid role players, but you can't get no other stars, and they make it that way, and that's messed up. I think it's a racial thing, but anyway, just like with the salary cap, it's a cap on how much you can pay a LeBron, who's probably the highest grossing athlete from this nation. But you can pay Mike Trout all you want to, and don't nobody even know Mike Trout, bruh. Who is Mike Trout? If you don't watch baseball, you don't know no Mike Trout. If you don't watch basketball, you know LeBron James. Hell, you know Michael Jordan. Folks know Michael Jordan and they ain't never seen him play. These folks wear clothes with his name on it and haven't seen this man play. But yet, we can pay Mike Trout all as much money as we want to. We can pay A-Rod as much money as we want to. I guess. That's crazy. And those are not high. I guess they're paid on their stats. Well, you know what? Okay, I think I'm being biased a little bit from my lack of watching baseball. With the last part I was about to say, because they probably get paid, based on a whole bunch of different numbers, just like in the NBA and NFL. But it's still as much as they can possibly get versus LeBron. There's a max, and player LeBron signs for the super max. Like, but he's gonna get as much as he can get. He ain't getting nothing beyond that. Is what Supermax says to me. Supermax to other people sound like, oh man, boy, he getting a gigantic contract. I'm like, no. If he getting a gigantic contract, if he getting a contract with those numbers, that means somebody paying him got way more than that. And we don't even know them. We don't speak on them or nothing. But we'll speak on LeBron, how much money he got. But anyway, I'm talking about rigging. I'm always on the tangent line. But yeah, it's or like in football, with they came up with the tuck rule and then they eliminated the tuck rule. Just a lot of different stuff, just for the sake of the business of the game. Like, but we'll say it's rigging, and it truly is rigging. I just wanted to put it out there, just some how we say games are rigged, and I just wanted to say, you saying it's rigged like this, but did you realize how it's rigged in so many ways? That's all. So I was hoping to make this short, and I did. I achieved. But yeah, I get with it. I get listeners.